Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Saturday, the 27th of September 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch of threads, expand your mind with truechat.ai or your post put on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. Just going to be a quick one today because I'm busy doing stuff tomorrow, but I've just got some posts I'll go through on my own feed. I've got to talk about this article from Craig. Craig literally back in the saddle again. Good to see him on fire as ever. The amount of work that man churns out is just absolutely staggering. We'll have a quick look at this Substack saying the Hollow Empire, a satire of BTC Core as a parasitic bureaucracy masquerading as innovation. Giving it to him. Check this out. The man, the legend, Craig Wright, also known as Satoshi Nakamoto, monitoring the spread of his creation. Look at that, one of the early pictures. Just incredible. Amazing. Cointelegraph says Vitalik slams EU chat control. We all deserve privacy and security. Oof. Let's find out what's going on there. They're trying to force him to do chat control on his platform. We'll have a quick look at the figures. We'll have a look at the Terranode testnet. Got some 365 days of Bitcoin history, and then we'll finish with the Kellen Schweller countdown. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terranode, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. Right, let's just have a look at some of my posts here. This is fascinating. I put, this is why the world needs Bitcoin. So there's a YouTube clip that obviously I can't show here. And it says why the Matahara labyrinth findings were silenced. And again, it just goes on about like all the researchers. Literally, they've been told to shut up shop, not talk to anything. They'll be done for Secrecy Act and all this. They are literally hiding our history. They're literally absolutely fanatical about hiding any archaeological finds. They don't want anybody to know about it because they don't want anybody to know where we came from. But this is why all results and records needs to be put on the Bitcoin network immediately so the truth can come out. Because obviously there's just one group of people controlling everything. Whereas once it's on the Bitcoin ledger, can't be deleted, can't be cracked, hacked, altered or changed. That's what we need it. Check this out. So I put here... anyone seen V for Vendetta? This is a poster from Sniper of Truth. He said, look at this, the white hats are in control. And white hat, and then it says a 32-degree KCCH Mason who had held that honour a minimum of 46 months may be nominated to become a 33-degree honorary Inspector General. 33 degrees or 33 degrees IGH. As with the KCCH, nominations are made for extraordinary service within the valley, in public or in his community. The hat is white with a gold trim and a double cross. And then somebody else very kindly posted from that. There was a response here. Oh, can we not see it? Show probable spam. There we go. Look at this. Somebody... a digital G, that's the symbol. Look at that. It's almost like they were trying to hide it there. Look at that. No way. Look, the symbols all around. You've just got to pick them up. Talking about symbology all around, what a joke this is. Bitcoin Magazine said, fix the money, fix the world. I think similar to what mine is. Fix the money, fix everything. If the money is corrupt, everything is corrupt. The only thing is they're obviously promoting Gregcoin there. What an absolute joke. But that's in Austria, so I'm assuming that's probably Salzburg or Vienna or something like that. Promoting Gregcoin. We know what they're up to. And this guy here, Steve Schultz, said, panic selling cost me a lot of money. Don't make the same mistake with XRP. Learn from my story on an absolute clown world. So that means like when the market is absolutely like collapsing and the XRP holders will be like, oh, no, I'm keeping mine. And same with all the Gregcoiners. They'll be doing the same. They'll be literally holding all the way to zero. Because that's what they've been told to do. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. They're going to lose the shirts off their back. Check this one out. So, Cozsat said here, The Bitcoin core team announced that they will likely remove the op return limit in their next release, which is scheduled for October later this year. So you mean what, like next month? This will bring a boom to, they said, Ordinals, BRC20 and CSAS. And that was in response to merged PR from Instagib's policy uncapped data carrier by default. All right, so now it's going to be a data carrier, is it? Yeah, and all the shit corners will say, oh, yeah, it's carrying spam, but it's too late for them. Like, literally, you cannot go back and fix the chain. That's your central point of control. Once that chain of signatures is broken, it's like snapping a twig on a branch. You cannot put it back together again. You can't grow it again. Like, end of. Talking about digital IDs, I think I mentioned this yesterday. Son Ping Ak said, in China, we need to verify our vaccine status with a COVID passport scan in order to enter the food market. If you're not vaccinated, you're banned from buying food. Digital ID is not for your well-being, but to control you. And look at that. People in China, or the whole nation, brainwashed. Shocking. Very great of Riley Cyrus. He said, the first 100 people to send me their BSV QR code will receive 1 Bitcoin. Look at that. Giving away 100 today. Absolutely amazing. That actually had, see how many responses it had. 199 responses. People desperate for some. Snooze you lose, though, as they say. But that was great. And then finally there's this. Look at that. I put only a BSVer knows the feeling. Incredible. Right, let's get on with some of CSW's posts here. Still one up there from the 13th of September. So the latest one, he said, a hollow empire, a satire of BTC Core as a parasitic bureaucracy masquerading as innovation. Let's see what this is then. How managerial theatre protocol capture and empty theocracy replaced the substance of digital cash. Keywords: BTC Core, parasitism, bureaucracy, satire, protocol capture, innovation theatre, lightning network, hollow governance, digital cash, stagnation, technocracy. Great image there. So we said the introduction, setting the stage for bureaucratic masquerade. The tale of BTC Core is not one of innovation, but of masquerade. It is the story of a bureaucracy that has discovered how to clothe stagnation in the costume of progress. A parasitic clerical order that feeds upon the carcass of digital cash while parading itself as the vanguard of innovation. The satire writes itself because the absurdities are already present. All that remains is to hold them to the light. In the theatre of BTC Core, every gesture is grand, every announcement laden with pomp. Yet the stage remains empty, innovation is declared, committees are formed, papers are circulated, but beneath the fanfare, nothing new is built. The parody lies in the sheer earnestness with which the hallowedness is defined. A bureaucracy is most dangerous not when it acts, but when it pretends. BTC Core pretends itself as the careful steward of great invention, the defender of protocol integrity, the guardian of orthodoxy. But this is theatre, not stewardship. The very system that they inherited was designed for transaction flow, for the ordinary act of exchanging value, for the mundane brilliance of digital cash. In their hands it has been frozen, embalmed and exhibited like a relic in a museum. Instead of extending capacity and enabling utility, the order of BTC Core insists upon scarcity as if it were virtue. It is the satire of priests preserving dead language, convinced that their refusal to speak in the tongue of the living is proof of wisdom. Absolutely. I mean, he's so clear and concise in the way he says it and his language. I mean, he's just absolutely spot on. But we know it's all by design. That's why they've done it. And again, when he talks about BTC Core masquerading, well, again, they're like, oh, how can you improve something that you're not meant to use? Like literally, oh yeah, we're going to make this cold storage wallet even colder than its coldest temperatures. We've now made it colder than it was colder before. It's just a really, really freezing cold wallet this time. It's the best cold wallet you could ever do. Literally, it does absolutely nothing. Like, how can you build or do anything for it? Literally, it's just absolute bravado and bullshit. Like he said, it's parasitic bureaucracy masquerading as innovation. Absolutely spot on. Talking about innovation, this is a picture of him back in the day. Look at that. He looks quite young now with his hair. Monitoring the growth of his network. And one thing I have to say is, like, when I actually had lunch with him, I think this was back in 2019, I think it was. We were booked in for an hour to have lunch. We were talking for an hour and a half, and the conversation was absolutely amazing. I had loads of questions. Literally, we could have spoken all day. The conversation was literally flowing. And in the end, like, Craig literally had to, like, excuse himself. But it wasn't a case of, oh, I haven't really enjoyed this, or you're boring me, or I've got to go. It was literally, he got up with a sense of purpose. It was just like, no, I really, really do have to go. And I was just like, you're the richest man in the world. Like, what could you possibly be doing, you know, that is better than what we're doing right now? We're just having this fantastic conversation. Like, it was really good. But he got up with this sense of purpose. I could feel it. I was just like, what's he doing? What could a man that is literally the richest man in the world, what could he possibly be doing that requires this kind of, like, level of urgency? But now we know. Now we know. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right, let's go on to Cointelegraph. They said Vitalik slams EU's chat control. We all deserve privacy and security. Vitalik Buterin has opposed the EU's proposed chat control law, and they're trying to say that we're not trying to control anyone. What a joke! Warning: it undermines digital privacy and creates surveillance backdoors. Yeah, no shit. Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin has criticised the European Union's proposed chat control legislation, warning that it threatens the right to privacy in digital communications. In a Saturday post shared on X, Buterin voiced opposition to mandatory surveillance measures. What the fuck? That would require tech platforms to scan private messages for illegal content. I mean, this is literally like Orwellian, like all over. He said, we all deserve privacy and security for our private communications, Buterin said. You cannot make society secure by making people insecure, he wrote, arguing that backdoors built for law enforcement are inevitably hackable and undermine the safety of everyone. Yeah, absolutely. The post was in response to another message by entrepreneur Peter Levels, who urged Europeans to reject the regulation, warning that it could allow officials to access citizens' personal messages. So to fight chat control, you cannot make society secure by making people insecure. We all deserve privacy and security without inevitably hackable backdoors for our private communications. The fact that the government officials want to exempt themselves from their own law is telling. Absolutely, he's calling them on it. Yeah, Vitalik calls out lawmaker hypocrisy. Buterin also called out the hypocrisy of lawmakers reportedly seeking to exempt themselves from the chat control legislation. One rule for me, another for thee. Absolutely outrageous. The fact that government officials want to exempt themselves from their own law is telling, he said, liking to a report from an EU reporter. Per the report, a leaked draft of the proposed law has revealed that interior ministers are seeking to exempt themselves, along with intelligence, police and military staff, from the mass surveillance provisions aimed at scanning private chats. 15 EU countries currently support the proposal but fall short of the 65% population threshold required for passage. Germany, which holds the pivotal vote, has yet to make a final stance. If Germany votes in favour, the law will likely pass. If it abstains or opposes, the legislation is expected to fail. Yeah, but they'll keep trying it over and over again. EU's chat control could push users towards Web3. Crypto advocates like Dodi CEO Hans Reppel and Bricken S-Lender Fabriga have said the proposal may drive users towards decentralized Web3 platforms designed for privacy by default. Rempel said Web3's not your keys, not your data ethos resonates with users disillusioned by centralized systems. Fabriga cautioned that the shift could fragment the EU digital market and reduce its influence on global privacy standards. Fabriga also noted that the legislation violates Article 7 and 8 of the EU Charter. No shit, Sherlock, which protect private communications and personal data. Rempel warned that entrusting governments with backdoor access poses serious cybersecurity risk given their history of data breaches. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know what's coming. Absolutely outrageous. Quite terrifying, really. Let's have a quick look at CoinDance then. Great coin, 109,000. That's taking a beating. Bitcoin is $23. Transactions though just 42.59, giving way to Gradecoin there. But the block size 77.46, still bigger blocks than all of Gradecoin put together. Currently 36,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Gradecoin. 1.1% more profitable to mine on Gradecoin over Bitcoin. Much of a muchness though. Let's have a look at the politics in the pie charts. Global hash rate 7 days, 24 hours. Gradecoin hash rate other miners 5.5. B crash via BTC 40%. Other mining pools 20.8. Fisher price cash other miners 60%, and CoinDance not reporting the figures for a genuine Bitcoin. But look at that, Gradecoin 109,000. Volume, 24-hour trade volume, just 1%. 1%. There's literally nothing there. Nothing there at all. Taking a beating on the week. Down 5% over 7 days, only 2% over 30 days. Let's have a look at genuine Bitcoin. Where are we now? Outside 100. Oh, inside it, 96. There we go. 24-hour trade volume, just 1.7. Let's have a look at liquidity here. All right. Interesting. Let's see if we've got anything here on the Terranode testnet. Not really too much coming through at the moment. Yeah, nothing reported there for 24 hours. Quite a lot on the week though. Whew, look at all those transactions. Just not at the moment. That's a bit of a shame. Never mind. But 27th of September, on the 27th of September 2012, Bitcoin Savings and Trust facing SEC investigation over Ponzi scheme. I mean, the Ponzi schemes literally came in like right at the beginning. Look at that. Great, great image there of what Bitcoin, the initial Bitcoin was, or the initial Bitcoin logo. Loving that. The American Securities and Exchange Commission is believed to be investigating Bitcoin Savings and Trust, an alleged Ponzi scheme conducted using a virtual Bitcoin currency. Can you believe that was in 2012? Like, I just had no idea about Bitcoin in 2012. Like, what on earth? But yeah, they were right. That did turn out to be a Ponzi scheme, as you'd expect. And then on the 27th of September 2017, Cardano ADA was initially released. Everybody remembers that picture of this scammer here, standing in front of the whiteboard with his glasses, looking intelligent. Absolutely crazy. What an absolute piece of shit this is. Completely centralized. Input output Hong Kong is the only miner on Cardano. It's completely centralized. It's an absolute joke. Look at the smug face on this guy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable when you actually know it's a piece of shit, and he's got the audacity to like lecture people on you know, the virtues of cryptocurrency and all that crap. What a joke. Anyway, it is now the 27th of September. We're now 9 days past the end of the Kellenschweller countdown. There are going to be lots of shenanigans happening between now and the end of this, because you've got to stay tuned to find out what it is. This is my own personal choice as to what the event is going to be, but when it happens, if it happens, it's going to go absolutely crazy. So remember, we've got October 5th, which is the 3-month deadline for the 80,000 BTC worth, what, $9.6 billion. We've also got, hopefully, the public release of our open source Terranode, and we've got the London Blockchain Conference. It's going to be absolutely epic. So hit the like button, press subscribe. You're not going to want to miss all the shenanigans that happen between now and then. It's going to be absolutely epic. So until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.